Hey, yeah, you got admitted into that school in the United States. Congratulations. But then you have waited and waited, and there's no funding. Funding doesn't come, and you're not sure if you should take it or not. I've gotten a lot of people asking me this. Hey, I got admitted, but I didn't get called for the MasterCard Foundation scholarship or any scholarship whatsoever, and I didn't get funding, and I do not know how to proceed from here. Do you have any tips? Do you know anyone that is funding anybody? And to everyone, I've said absolutely no. I'm not sure. I can't remember anyone aside the ones that I have shared already. By the way, if you have not watched other playlists on getting admitted and you want to get admitted or know anything about graduate school scholarships, especially the Mastercard Foundation scholarship, and especially studying at UC Berkeley, then you want to go to this link, this playlist. I have all the videos out there that you can watch. Now, if you've gotten admitted, I want to say congratulations. But if you want to hear my perspective on the fact that you did not get the scholarship, first I would say I'm sorry. For those who got admitted and got the scholarship, I want to say congratulations. Congratulations to you. Whatever scholarship, whether it's the MasterCard Foundation scholarship that is absolutely full ride, or even if you just got tuition or teaching assistantship, I think you have done really well. And I will say congratulations. It's a huge deal. Now, I've been very careful in recording this video and kind of hesitant to record this video on this topic because I have a kind of bias or sentimental tone to it. And so please be careful what you take from this. If you think it doesn't apply to you, or you just have more faith than I do in this area, absolutely do not take it and just run with what you have. Now, while getting admitted is good, I remember when I first got admitted into University of Massachusetts in Boston, and I was so excited. And I remember telling someone, a very senior person, I won't call him a friend because he's like a boss, about it. And he says, "Oh, nice." But then he dampened my feeling immediately, and he's like, "It's not about getting admitted. It's about the funding. How about the funding?" And I'm like, "Oh no, they didn't fund, but I think I'll sort it out." And there was this way he looked at me, and there was this expression or demeanor he had that I would only come to understand much later. At that point, I felt, hey, he's a bad belly. He doesn't wish me well. He's not encouraging. He's mean. Instead of him to be so happy for me, he just dampened my spirit. Um, but it took me a while to really get it. At that point, I didn't know. I thought he was just against me, but he wasn't. He looked down. He was like, "Well, it's not about getting admitted; it's about getting scholarship." But me, I felt, for goodness' sake, the acceptance rate is quite low. For me to get admitted was a big deal, so be happy for me. As God will have it, that year I could not go because I couldn't get a visa, and some things were affected at that time. I had to reapply again. Even though I deferred, I didn't go with that deference. Someone had helped me and opened my eyes to possibilities of what I could get in, and I decided to reapply, and I began to get offers. But I began to have a renewed mind to it, in that I knew the potentials that I had, and so I wanted to go with full funding or not go at all at this point, because I'd gotten back to my business and work and all of that. And so the first admission I got was from Brandeis, and Brandeis offered me 70% scholarship. I'd applied late, so they said they had already. I said, "What about the World Bank?" They're like, "They already pushed in names for the World Bank already, and it was already late. It was closed, so I couldn't apply." But they offered me 70% scholarship. Amazing, right? When I told some friends, everybody was excited. "Oh, it's nice. Accept it. Accept it. It's better than nothing." Some people even said, "Hey, I got just 50% and I came. You figure it out. You find a way. Take it and all of that." I said no. I'd already made up my mind, and I'd covenanted with God and myself that it's either full funding or nothing, and I stuck with that. And so at that time, I'd done, like, was it 11 or 13 applications, so I was waiting for them to come. Um, I thank God I waited. I thank God I got the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program, and I came. I moved to the United States to Berkeley with that. But when I began to study, I met so many people that did not get funding, people that took loans to come, people that had partial funding, or people that had assistantship somehow to get the funding. And looking at it and looking back, I'm so grateful that my visa was denied when I did not have funding. Trust me, it's not that simple. It is so hard. Like I studied a program that was like about 75,000 a year, and we're talking about 1.5 year here. You're talking about living expenses. Accommodation can be pretty expensive depending on the state you are. I was in California, I was in the Bay Area. It was very expensive, and then feeding. And so I was also doing a professional program that had a professional fee as well attached to it. Most of these other people did not, right? They had the professional fee, they had the loan cover their tuition, but they still had to pay professional fee. They were teaching assistants, and with GSIs in Berkeley, I don't know about other schools, they call teaching assistant GSIs, as graduate student instructors. Um, Once you have that, most times it tends to cover your tuition, like just your basic tuition, and then you pay um your professional fees yourself. But I still saw them struggle. I still saw them struggle. In the United States, you have all those bills. You have the light bills. You have let me not call it like the utility bills. You have your phone bills. Those things you have to pay for them, and it was really really hard. And I know of some of them that even when they finished, they could not even go for a job they wanted. They could not live the lives they wanted because they just had to get the best of, and they just had to get money because they had to start paying. They had to pay the money, they had to pay the loans, they had to pay their bills. And so it wasn't about what do I like or what do I want to do. Even after going through that expensive and beautiful degree, the first priority was I have to pay back the loans. And I look at it and I'm like, I just couldn't have lived like this. I'll be so frustrated. I'll be so pushed to the wall. I just could not. And so every day I woke up at Berkeley, I was eternally grateful to God for the amazing opportunity I had. And so I tend to have told every other person that I have met or that have worked with me that it's not easy to get a funded educational scholarship or funded journey. It can be really hard, I know. It's very competitive, I know, but if you can, try your best to make yourself competitive. The work you will do outside of there to show your work and your impact and the leadership journey and really contributing people's life and getting your heart work right. It's a lot of work. It takes a bit of time, but I believe that that time is worth it for what you're going to get. It is absolutely worth it. I remember when I asked myself, I said, oh, well, I want to get a scholarship. I want to get a scholarship, then I have to apply to so and so. And I really want a scholarship in the program that I want. What will it cost me? I had to ask myself, what will it cost me? And I had to ask myself, was I ready to pay that price? And so, in paying that price, it involves you writing so many essays from the depth of your heart. It could involve you paying for consultations from people that have gone ahead of you to really understand. It will involve you doing a lot of research to see what have the people that have gotten it, what have they done differently, what do they have that I don't have that I could make up for. It might seem hard, it might take a lot of time. There are times you wake up, you don't even want to do it. But take this from me, it is absolutely worth it. If you don't have funding and your school fees is huge and you don't have a plan, I would advise you to calm down and apply again. The exchange rate is high. It's not easy to get a job as a student, and it's also not that easy to get a job when you graduate. I promise you. Some people try to do under the table job, but even under the table job is not that easy to get. And even the under the table jobs are jobs that are not documented. And most times they take advantage of you. They say all sorts. They when you want to do stuff because they know you can't report them, they just treat you anyhow. Do you want to live your life like that? It reeks you of integrity. And I don't know. I just for me, that's why I said before I started video that I'm very sentimental about it. And so you don't have to take my word for it, but this is how I feel about it. It just was against my values to do some kind of things. And sometimes if you go that route, you're just forced to do that. And the thing is, you're just there for years and years, and it just feels like you're living paycheck to paycheck that is not enough. Maybe you get credit cards and then you push, and it's not just enough, and it just keeps going. So you have to ask yourself, is this the life I want to live? Or do I mind doing the work? Do I mind making the impact now? Do I mind making trying to identify a problem I can solve that is relevant to the world, or position myself for the money and then putting myself out there to actually get a scholarship? Those are things you want to ask yourself. So if you didn't get um if you didn't get the funding, I'm so sorry. If you didn't get the scholarship, I'm so sorry, but please apply again. And maybe you want to apply to other schools, or maybe you want to even try doctoral programs that are typically fully funded. More work, You have to be able to understand what the research you're doing, and maybe even find a supervisor that is willing to work with you. But trust me, it takes a lot of time. You might also need to write GMAT and GRE to make yourself more competitive, because I know some people, it wasn't just that they didn't get the scholarship, especially for MasterCard, they didn't get admitted. And if you don't get admitted, you do not even stand a chance for them to call you for the scholarship, to apply for the scholarship. So maybe you might need to write a GMAT or a GRE to buttress whatever it is that you have, or you might need to do more community work to show. Remember, the United States is not so much into DEI anymore. That's diversity, equity, and inclusion anymore. Most schools, most institutions are scraping it out. So you have to just be really good and show that you're really good. So if you have to write those scores, those exams, and ace the scores, do it. If you have to study 4 hours a day, do it. If you have to start preparing from your essays for now, start doing it. Trust me, it is worth it to get fully funded than to start going into academic loans. It's a lot of pressure. I hope this answers the question for most people who have been asking, or what my thoughts are, what they should do. And I'm sorry, I really do not know. I also know there are some private organizations and individuals, depending on your country or location, that offers scholarship and opportunities to students that are not as publicized as that. You might want to check. Sometimes even the school is not aware. You might want to make the focal person in the program you're applying for your best friend to know what opportunities, even hidden opportunities that exist. I also know some people that go to individuals and write them and say, I have this, and they privately fund them. It could be an agreement, it could be something or whatever it is. That could also work, because I've done that before in my when I was in undergrad. I reached out to someone, hey, please, I need this, and I begged and I defended myself why I thought I was worth the investment. Can you just invest in me to do this? And I got the help. They didn't even request. My offer was, I'll do this, and when I finish, I'll work for you, um, to repay whatever it is you've invested in me till I graduated. But they didn't need me to do that. They just saw a girl that was driven and they helped me. So you might be able to get that. But I really do think that getting a fully funded scholarship is absolutely worth it. It's a lot of work. It's very competitive, but I think it's worth it. And if this is your first time, or even if it's your second time or your third time, don't be tired to try again. Actually, if your age is still within the bracket, you try again. It's absolutely worth it. I can promise you. Um, that's it. If you have any more questions related to this scholarship or school thing, I'm trying to wrap it up. I'm not sure if I've missed any other point. If I have, to let me know in the comments and I'll talk about it. And I wish you all the best. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel, please, 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 and share this video with anyone who is downcast and feeling, "Oh, hey, I got admitted, there's no funding," or someone who is not sure if they should take the risks and go without funding or not. You also do not want to be out of status, being in the US. Now you don't want to do that. I don't think it's worth it. But anyway, each person to their own, and what they value and what is important to them. I wish you all the best, and I pray that it works out. And for those that are applying this year, towards the next academic session starting 2026, I wish you all the best. Remember to do your best. Remember to put in the work. Remember to start early. Start now. You don't start just when the application opens, but just before the application. Thank you, and bye.